Now, we do have confirmation of who the person that police are looking for in connection with the shooting of these state lawmakers. And we're now able to confirm that police are looking for Vance Boelter, born in 1967 in the state of Minnesota. Maggie Vespa, you have more on this.
Yeah, Jose, this just into NBC News, according to three people familiar with the investigation. Vance Boelter, a 57-year-old man from Minnesota, is the person authorities are now looking for in connection with these two, what they're calling politically motivated, politically targeted shootings in the Minneapolis area earlier this morning. And that name, Vance Boelter, spelling B-O-E-L-T-E-R. Again, that's according to three people familiar. And remember, this is the guy who they say showed up at these two homes. And you're seeing Senator Hoffman's home from earlier this morning with those bullet holes in the front door, that chilling video from our affiliate on the ground. This is the guy who they say showed up at these two homes starting around 3:30 this morning. Dressed as a police officer, wearing that blue police officer shirt, that tactical vest, that utility belt with a dark-colored SUV. It looked like one a police officer might be driving, with lights and sirens on the top. In other words, authorities saying completely impersonating an officer of the law, knocking on their door early in the morning of these two Democratic lawmakers in the state of Minnesota. And they say targeting both of them, ambushing them with gunfire, shooting each lawmaker, including Senator Hoffman, and Melissa Hortman, Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark, shooting each lawmaker and their spouses. Representative Hortman and her husband both passing away, killed during this shooting. Senator Hoffman and his wife both taken to a local hospital for surgery. Authorities hopeful, officials hopeful that they'll pull through. They have so far survived. But this is a major update now confirmed by three people familiar with the investigation to NBC News that Vance Boelter, they say, is the suspected shooter who they believe ditched that SUV, took off on foot, and is now at large in the suburban Minneapolis area with this massive, you can see that SUV there being towed away, with this massive manhunt underway. Jose.
Let's look at that, Maggie, because that's the one that the suspect was utilizing. Boy, yeah. You see that? The lights on the top. There is look at that. And in the plate, you see the plate right in the front. It says police.
Right.
I mean,
and again,
this is, yeah, go ahead.
We've talked about, I mean, you and I were just talking. Keep in mind, it was pitch black. It was before dawn, 2:30 in the morning. And you point out, right, those lights on the top, just frankly, the shape, make, and model of that SUV.
Let's take a look at that, Maggie. Let's look at that together. Folks,
here it goes.
Watch this. Look at that. The back, there's some stripes there. You got the I think the tag in the front says police, the lights on the top, and then there are some lights inside that are actually still moving. Boy, that top and bottom of the front windshield, look at that. I mean, this is as close to a police SUV as you can get, if it's not one, because it's just, how do you at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning or 3 p.m. not think that this is a police vehicle? And I'm glad we're showing it again. Let's look at it together. There's some numbers on the top right of the back of the vehicle. No, just those stickers on it, as long as that, as well as that bumper in the front with those lights, top and bottom of the front windshield. Take a look at that. And it does say, what does it say? It says police.
Yeah, right. No, that license plate says police. The shape, make, and model of it is something that authorities were very blunt. They said, look, this absolutely looked like. In other words, they just stopped short of saying this guy did a good job of making himself look like a law enforcement officer. The way he was dressed, the gear he was wearing, that vest, that belt, the car he was driving, the lights and sirens on top of it. There is no way, from Minnesota's governor to the other law enforcement officers who have spoken at these press conferences today, saying there is no way that these two Democratic lawmakers, again, hours before dawn, middle of the night, would have been able to tell that they weren't answering the door to a law enforcement officer. You see it going by again, Jose, with those lights still flashing in this video. And again, it was so authentic. It was so real looking that we just talked about this a little bit ago. As they conduct these manhunts across the area, they are reminding people, you know, police may be showing up to your home in vehicles that look like that. They're going to be dressed like law enforcement officers, but this is key. Only answer the door if you see 2 or more police officers or law enforcement officers coming to your home at once. Because again, they say this guy was dressed like police, he looked like police, but he was acting alone. We today will not be, because, Jose, they know there is so much fear and panic in the area.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.